probably didn't need to travel to Spain to find out the Super Duke GT is a terrific motorcycle. After all, it's based on Super Duke R, the wonderfully capable and fantastically fast motorcycle. What was yet to be discovered was how the changes from R GT worked to transform the hooligan roadster into a proper grandeur. But it would be unfair to think of the GT as just an R with a windscreen, as it underwent a cornucopia of changes. KTM claims the GT's development required more than 30 man-years of work. That might sound a bit hyperbolic until all the upgrades are added up. The GT brings a host of electronics previously unavailable in the SDR, including a semi-active suspension, cornering ABS, cruise control, heated grips and KTM's first quickshifter. The GT also receives as standard equipment electronic tire pressure monitoring, self-canceling turn signals and LED cornering lights. The Super Duke R is blessed with one of the greatest motorcycle engines of all time, and the GT gets a revised version of KTM's 1301cc V-twin engine. It's purported to push out the same 173 crank horsepower and 106 pounds-feet of torque as the SDR, but it hits its torque peak 1,000 revs sooner, 6,750 RPM, and is said to have no less than 86 pounds-feet available just 3,250 RPM. Credit a new cylinder head with narrower intake ports and reshaped combustion chambers. Moreover, the engine was required to meet tough new Euro 4 emissions regulations, 40% less pollution than Euro 3, according to KTM's Eric Friedel, so the GT has a new pre-muffler and catalyst under the engine, plus a new stainless steel muffler with internal flapper valve that boasts 7 meant to moderate noise emissions for all 6 gears plus neutral. Friedel says that tuning and smooth drivability while meeting Euro 4 emissions is extremely challenging. All that said, and we haven't yet gotten to the new bones of the GT. The headlight is pushed forward and mounted on a nylon composite bracket that also supports the sharply angled fairing, windscreen and the VVO instruments we're accustomed to seeing on KTMs. Fuel capacity is upped from 18 liters to tour-worthy 23, 6.1 gallons. At the rear, a bespoke subframe is built from aluminum tubes, a structure that supports a longer pillion saddle and integrated mounts for the saddle bits developed internally by KTM rather than using off-the-shelf bags. The panniers are optional in Europe but standard in North America. Ergonomically, the GT's 25mm wider handlebar places hands 5mm higher than the SDR. Further adjustments are available by reversing the handlebar clamp, which brings the bar ends 12mm closer to a rider, and the clamp also has an alternate mounting hole that provides another 10mm of adjustment. And, as with any one-piece handlebar, it can also be rotated in its clamp to suit individual taste. Foot pegs for both pilot and pillion have been lowered for extended legroom. Nubs for shifter and brake pedal can be set to 3 positions to suit feet of different sizes, and both hand levers are adjustable for each. When talking about any Super Duke, meaty engine performance is always part of the story, and so it is with the GT. Big power is packed from top to bottom, pulling smoothly and strongly from 3,500 RPM, allowing the rider to run a gear or even 2 taller than what might be optimal. The knockout punch comes into play at about 6,500 revs when a tidal wave of torque threatens to loft the front end without additional provocation in the bottom 3 gears. The V-twin's exhaust note is sweet and mean, with a stimulating bridle overrun. The noise from the titanium Akrapovic slip-on doesn't sound much different from the OEM muffler. Vibration from the 75-degree twin can get intense at high RPM, but it's not an issue at cruising speeds. It's spinning at 5,000 RPM at 85 miles per hour. The foot pegs do without vibe-defeating rubber inserts, which shows that problematic vibration wasn't evident during the GT's developmental stage. The GT's braking performance is exceptional, using Brembo's stellar N50 monoblocks that I adore on every bike they've been fitted to. Furthermore, the bike's Bosch MSC includes cornering ABS, which takes the bike's lean angle into account. Perhaps you're one of those old-school relics who think they're so talented they can operate brakes better than a computer. One journalist who believed that ended his day on his ass after tucking the GT's front end entering a corner too hot. Technological progress has advanced the state of the ABS art to amazing new levels. While the GT's MSRP hasn't yet been set, it's expected to retail right around the $20,000 mark when it becomes available in the US in September or October. At that price, it'll be about $2,800 more dear than its older brother. And while one certainly could tour on a Super Duke R by tossing on some bags and a windscreen to create a facsimile of the GT, you'd have to do without highly desirable features like active suspension, cruise control, adjustable wind protection and tire pressure monitoring. Ultimately, the Super Duke GT's performance capabilities vaulted to the top of the list of ultra-sport sporters. KTM continues on its impressive road to solidifying itself as a leader in motorcycle excitement.